Something felt wrong, but no one said a word.
A quiet room, a warning unheard.
Smiles too tight, a laugh too forced.
Every instinct said,
Change your course. The vibes were off.
The lights were low.
We missed the signs. We should have known. The vibes were off.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to our podcast,
The vibes were off. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Meg. And before we start today, I just want to bring up something real quick because I need some ideas. Okay, so my 40th birthday is far off. It's a few years.
You are not 40. What are you talking about?
I've got a few years, but I really want to create a 40 before 40 list.
Okay.
But I need ideas.
Love that.
So
okay, we can get some ideas.
I'm just throwing it out there. If anyone has some cool, fun ideas for a 40 before 40, but keep in mind, I have a small child and I've only got a few years to do this. So nothing crazy. Like, I don't think I'm going to Europe, but maybe.
Go to Europe. Yeah, it's just like not an around the world cruise that lasts a year.
Right. Yeah. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Anything other than that, let's do it.
Yeah.
And wait, do I get to come?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And, maybe you even want to write one with me. We can both do a 40 before 40.
I do have a few years before 40.
Yeah.
I'm not 40 yet.
Yeah. So
that'll be fun.
Anyways,
Great idea. That's a good idea.
I was just thinking about that. So let's get into our survivor story for today. So we actually have two survivors.
Ooh.
I know.
This is our first double survivor.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Fabienne Witherspoon and Krystal Surles. But they don't happen at the same time.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about Fabienne. It was May 13th, 1992, and a 19-year-old Fabienne was living in Charleston, West Virginia with her fiancé.
Okay.
Yeah. Fabienne is a woman. And she had left that morning to go take a pregnancy test at her local clinic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Wait, she's 19?
She's 19.
Is this wanted or a surprise?
So she seems a little bit relieved when it comes back negative.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it is negative, and so she's feeling okay, and she's walking back home after getting her test results. And on the way there, she passes a homeless-looking man holding a sign that said, "Will work for food." And it's important to note that Fabienne, she was a very kind soul, always wanted to help people out. So when she saw this man, she felt bad for him, and she asked him if he was really hungry. He replied yes and told her about his wife and his 3 kids who were also very hungry. So this pulled at her heartstrings, and she told him that she had plenty of food at her house and if he wanted to come back with her.
Okay. I get it. You want to help somebody out. Totally get it. Don't ever invite somebody back to your home.
Yeah.
That is a bad idea. This is a stranger. It could also be the Pope, right? But this is a stranger. Why take the chance?
Right. It also kind of shocked me that we're in the 90s. Like, I would feel like...
That feels like 70s coded.
Yes.
Like, yeah, man, come on back. I got some food.
Yeah, I had to double take a few times. Like, no, we're in the 90s right now. So
yeah, that's a scary choice.
Yeah. And so as they walked, he talked more about himself. He even showed her a picture of his family. And when they got to her house, he asked if anyone else was home.
Yes, there's a whole football team of giant linebackers ready to tackle you if you do anything weird.
She made the mistake.
No.
And replied no. So she did try to protect herself a little bit. She asked him to wait on the front porch while she went inside. So she did not invite him into her home.
Did she lock the door when she went inside?
No, she did not.
Okay.
Yeah. So she went into the house and started bagging up some groceries for him. And while she was in the house, she heard a noise a few minutes into bagging the groceries. And when she turned around, she saw him standing there with a knife in her kitchen. And he told her to do what you're told and you won't get hurt.
Yeah, I don't believe him.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he walked her down the hallway into her own bathroom and began sexually assaulting her. While she was being assaulted, she was trying to think of a way to escape or fight back. And when he finished, he kind of pushed her up onto the toilet, facing backwards. So she was like looking at...
Like hugging the tank?
Yeah, almost. And she saw a way to fight back then.
The lid!
No.
Oh.
So on top of her toilet, she had a giant ceramic duck. And she said, this is a great...
Quack, bitch. Quack, quack.
Yeah, she said
They're going to take him out with a duck.
This is the perfect weapon. So she swung around and hit him with it multiple times in the head until she was only holding the beak.
Great.
So she went...
Girl power.
Yeah, she went to town on him. So unfortunately, he was still standing after this, and now he was really agitated, and he pushed her down and began raping her again. No. But while he was doing this, he decided to set his knife down on the sink, which was an odd choice.
He was busy. He had his hands full, I guess.
Right. But Fabienne...
yank it.
Yeah, seeing another way that she could get away from him, grabbed the knife, stabbed him a few times, and then
Fabienne.
Took off running. So, unfortunately...
Stop saying unfortunately
I'm
to
so
me.
sorry. This seemed to only slow him down for a second, and he quickly caught up to her in the hallway, pulled her by the back of her hair, and swung her into a bedroom. In the bedroom, they fought over the knife, and to her horror, he got the knife back.
Yep. No, yep, that tracks.
Yeah. So as she's laying there on the ground, she's thinking, okay, he's going to start stabbing me. But instead, he grabbed a quilt from her bed and covered her with it. And she's like, what is going to happen next? And instead of stabbing her, he grabbed an antique stool that was in the room and just started beating her with it. He beat her so hard with it that the top of the seat came off, the top of the stool.
And he had the knife?
He did.
But he just didn't want to use the knife.
I guess he thought that...
It's too bloody? But no, because beating someone with a stool, I imagine, could get bloody.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But yeah, he so badly that the top came off of it, and she just began to feel warm and wet and recognized that she was bleeding. So he must have thought that he did a really great job and killed her. So he left. She heard him walking down the hallway. She heard the front door open and then close. But she was so scared to move because she thought he might still be in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be tricking her.
Valid. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so she told herself she was going to wait just 5 minutes and then she'd get up and call the police. So she waited that 5 minutes, called the police, and when the police arrived, Fabienne was taken to the hospital and she was able to give police a name. Because this idiot told her his real name while they were walking home.
Is like a real family picture. Wait, is this a well-known serial killer?
It is.
Yes. Okay, good. I think I remember this. Okay, but I don't know like a lot of the details. But
Perfect.
What an idiot.
Yeah, so she said, I know his name. His name is Tommy Sells.
Sells like car salesman?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Tommy Lynn Sells was born in California in 1964 as a twin.
Oh.
His sister, Tammy Jean, unfortunately died at 18 months old when the twins contracted meningitis.
Oh, that's tragic.
Very sad. And he was one of 6 kids. So again, a big family.
We have a lot of 6-kid families
Single
going on
mom.
right now.
Single
and
mom.
with single
Yeah.
moms. Wow.
So he briefly went to live with his aunt after the death of his twin, but returned to his mother at the age of 5. It was obviously not a safe environment for a child because by the age of 7, Sells began regularly drinking alcohol.
7?
At 7.
Once again, I have a 7-year-old. There's no way.
Right?
He doesn't drink anything but water.
Yeah.
Like apple juice makes his tummy hurt. I
Yeah.
don't understand. 7 years old.
And
wow.
Even worse, within a year, started socializing with an adult named Willis Clark. Clark began molesting Sells, and he says that his mother actually encouraged the relationship.
Why?
Now, we're also taking the word
A serial killer?
of a murderer.
Yeah.
So maybe take it with like a little bit of grain of salt, but we do believe that he was molested when he was young.
That's awful.
it has a lot to do with how he turned out.
Right.
So by the time he was 10 years old, he had started using narcotics.
Jeez, that's a tough life. Okay, but it's making sense why you're a little crazy. You're off your rocker. We get it.
Yeah. And when he was 13, he entered his grandmother's room naked, which led to him being banned from the house.
What was he going to do? Was Grandma in the room?
Grandma was in the room.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure what he intended to do there, but
Nothing
it
good.
freaked everyone out, and they were like, you gotta go. And then shortly after that, his mother and his other siblings just packed up and left town without him.
Where was he at this point? Just
So-
on the street at 13? Mm-hmm. And they were like, peace out.
And
You're obviously crazy. We're out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you feel bad for the child because he was being molested, obviously turned to alcohol and drugs to cope with that. Maybe has some mental health issues going on here. And now he's
abandoned.
Right. Now he's 14, living as a nomad. So we're in 1978, and he's just 14 years old, living on the streets. We don't know much about that time, but we do know in 1981 he was able to track down his family in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he stayed with them for a brief time until he was kicked out again for trying to molest his mother while she was showering.
Are you kidding me? First of all, I would say if he showed up, this is some Silence of the Lambs type shit. That kid shows up. You didn't tell him where you were going. He was 13. You guys left. He shows up at your door. He's like, knock, knock. Teddy's home. I'd be like, nope, we're out. We're going again. You can't stay here.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking he's 4, or I guess he's not 14 at that time. He's a little bit older now. But
No.
I do feel bad for him a little bit in the beginning. But not for trying to molest his mother. That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So back on the streets. Oh, do you have questions?
No, I just, sorry, I keep saying crazy, but this story is wild.
We're just starting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So back on the streets alone, his drinking and drug use only got worse, plus probably some mental health issues going untreated, and it wasn't long until Sells was arrested in 1982 for public intoxication. And to my knowledge, it's the first time he is arrested.
And how old is he at this point?
It's 1982. He was 14 and 78.
I'm just trying to do math. 18?
So, yes, 18.
18? Yeah.
There we go. 18.
We did it.
We are smart. And yeah, so the first time he's arrested, and then once he was released from jail and that, he just really started hitchhiking and train hopping across America, committing crimes along the way. And we know he was in prison several more times for things like theft and driving under the influence.
Yep, that tracks.
Yep. And then in 1990, he was sentenced to 16 months for stealing a truck in Wyoming.
So just the whole country. He's coast to coast.
Everywhere.
Doing crimes.
Ooh, that's good. Remember that.
Yeah.
Coast to coast. Remember
Doing
that for later.
crimes, coast to coast.
So while he was arrested during this time, I'm pretty sure he was diagnosed with personality disorders, addiction issues, and psychosis.
Well, I'm just shocked he made it to a therapist office.
Yeah.
Or a hospital or something.
I think this was normal screenings that they do with
a
people who are in prison.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he was there for 16 months.
Right.
Yeah. But it wasn't long, and after he was released from stealing that truck, that the path crossed with Fabienne Witherspoon. So he had just been released from prison for grand theft auto, and he met Fabienne.
So he had a wife and kids and he was grand theft autoing?
No.
Oh, this is a fake wife and kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So luckily, due to her bravery and her sheer will to live, Fabienne not only survived, but she was able to lead police to her attacker. And it turned out that police were familiar with the name because they had just spoken to him a couple days earlier. They even had a phone number, and they were able to use that phone number to figure out where he was staying.
Okay.
Which is awesome. They were like, hey, we know that name, and they were able to track him down really quickly.
Yeah, which is good.
Wonderful.
But, yeah, scary. Also, I'm still stuck up on he had a knife. He could have used that, but he wrapped her up in a quilt and beat her.
He's strange.
Like, thankfully, we were saying, like, she was brave and determined and everything, but really it's just, like, dumb luck that he didn't stab her.
Yeah.
And he had to be hurt, right? Okay, good.
We're getting there. So, police found Sells hours later in his trailer, and when he was arrested, he had to be taken to the hospital for injuries sustained while attacking Fabienne.
Snaps for Fabienne.
Yes, we love her. These injuries included the wound to his head, a collapsed lung,
Whoa!
a nicked kidney, and a cut on his spleen.
Good job, Fabienne.
She did very well.
Yeah.
And
so he was, like, dying, basically?
He likely would have died from his injuries had police not found him when they did.
Oh, so she saved his life.
Yeah.
Technically.
A little bit in, like, police. And you kind of wish they wouldn't have found him.
Like, sorry, I didn't really know his name. And then, 2 days later, be like, oh, I got it now.
Yeah.
And like, oh, he's dead in the hotel room.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I mean, I guess he didn't want to go to the hospital because he had just...
They would ask questions.
Right.
Yeah.
He just thought he murdered somebody, but yeah, he would have died, which is unfortunate. So Sells took a plea deal and was sentenced to between 2 and 10 years for malicious wounding.
But it's attempted murder. Why was it not attempted murder?
They called it malicious wounding.
I don't like it.
So he ended up only serving 5 years and was released in 1997. And the worst part was that Fabienne was not even notified when he was released.
That is a tragedy and a failure of the justice system.
Such a failure.
Because she's just out living her life and he walks past her in like the grocery store.
Right. How terrifying would that be?
And she's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Run away. Time to move to a different state. What state was this in again?
They were in West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. So while he was in prison, he got married to a woman named Nora Price, and they decided to move to Tennessee when he got out of prison. So luckily, he was out of West Virginia, but...
This is still dangerous.
Really
it's not
dangerous.
Far.
Yeah. And then, as you can imagine, it didn't last long with Nora, and he was back on the road living the life of a drifter again. So now we're going to jump forward a couple years to December 31st, 1999. In Del Rio, Texas. So we are in Texas.
We've made it back to the Lone Star State.
Yes. And Del Rio is pretty close to San Antonio.
Okay.
I mean, relatively speaking.
Everything in Texas is far.
Yes. So best friends, 13-year-old Katie Harris and 10-year-old Krystal Surles are having a sleepover.
I don't like where this story is going. Why are you didn't say trigger warning for child.
Oh, huge trigger warning.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Babies.
Yeah. It's going to get bad. It's going to get really bad.
Buckling up.
So Krystal and her sister were actually staying with the Harrises while their mom and their grandmother prepared to move to Del Rio. So they were staying with the Harrises for a little while.
Okay.
And I believe that Katie had 2 brothers.
Okay.
Who lived in the house. So there were, I think that night, there were 6 people in that house.
It's a full house. Yeah.
Yes. So everyone's sound asleep, and the girls are startled awake by a man in their bedroom. This man is cutting off Katie's clothes and attempting to molest her.
And she's 10, 13?
This is the 13-year-old.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So she's waking up to this happening to her, and she is kind of frantically yelling to Krystal in the top bunk. So they're in bunk beds.
Oh, my God.
And Katie's in the bottom bunk. Krystal's in the top bunk.
So she could just look over and see him.
Yeah. So she kind of wakes up to Katie yelling and looks over. And by that point, he is already stabbing her.
Now he's stabbing?
He's stabbing.
Now we can stab when they're babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a monster. So he begins stabbing Katie, and then he slits her throat. Yeah, and it happens pretty quickly, and she's just watching in horror as her best friend is getting murdered, and she's just frozen in fear.
What do you do?
Right, and she's in the top bunk.
Right.
So it's not
There's
like
no way to get out.
Right. And she recalls him maybe not even realizing that she was there, because she said what happened was he killed Katie and then started to walk out of the room and like looked back and seemed like he saw her. And so he came over to the top of the bunk and pretty quickly slit her throat. Yeah. And then
Oh my
thinking
God.
he had killed them both, left the house calmly.
Just the 2 girls. Mm-hmm. Left the 4 other people completely alone.
Yeah, so when Krystal heard him leave, she ran to the neighbor's house with a severed trachea, thinking that everyone else in her house had to be dead.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Right? In her mind,
Yeah.
there's no way that anybody else would be alive. So when police arrived, they were expecting to find multiple dead bodies, but they only found Katie Harris. The truth was, Sells never went into any other room in that house. He was targeting those girls.
So, okay, this is someone who knew them then.
So, having survived, Krystal was able to give police a really good sketch of the man who did it. And when Katie's dad saw the picture, he said, "Hey, I know that man. He goes to our church. His name is Tommy Lynn Sells."
Oh my God, why?
So he knew the Harris family. So it's believed that he was targeting Katie specifically.
Right.
He went there.
He's the one that he killed Katie.
Yeah, he went there to molest her and to murder her.
Did he molest her, or did he just try and wasn't successful?
They charged him with assault of her, so I think that they considered what he did sexual assault.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened. And Tommy Lynn Sells, luckily, was arrested on January 2nd, 2000. So it only took them a couple days to get him. And while in police custody, he made a shocking statement. He said to police, "So I guess you want to know about the others."
Oh my God. They're like, yep, of course.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We need some Texas street justice on this guy.
It's bad. But luckily they brought in the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, they did.
And they do a really good job of kind of figuring out everything that he did.
Yeah. Do you have any more information on the Texas Rangers? I feel like we should tell. If you're not from Texas, they're like the FBI equivalent of in Texas, I guess.
Yeah.
Very well respected.
Oh, yeah.
Very good looking, working men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, honey.
You're like
great. Love you.
the cowboy FBI.
Yes, that's exactly right. The cowboy FBI.
We love the Rangers. Anyway, so when at the station, Tommy fully confessed to the murder of Katie Harris and the attempted murder of Krystal. And then he went on to list about 50 murders that he had committed and claimed he was only about 70% done. Rewind.
I buckled in. I didn't realize I would need extra safety straps. You said 50?
Yep.
50.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
And this psychopath also went back to the murder scene of Katie and reenacted the whole thing for police.
Why did they let him do that?
I don't know. I guess because it helped in like building their case against him. So there's no way he can go back later and be like, no, I didn't do that.
Right.
Because like he literally walked them through exactly how everything happened. He even like climbed in through the window. It's disturbing, and there is video of it if you're interested in watching that.
Everyone go around your house right now and make sure all of your windows are locked. Good thing to do.
Yes. So in September of 2000, he was tried and convicted of the murder and assault of Katie Harris and the assault of Krystal Surles. And I just have to shout her out because during the trial, Krystal, who was 10 at the time, and I guess she probably was still 10 or maybe 11 at the time of this, testified so confidently, so bravely. And she even like went against them walking her like the other way around to get to the box to testify. She said, "No, I want to walk right by him."
It's like, I'm going to stare him down.
She did. I watched the video. She walks by him and she looks back.
Like,
at
hey,
him.
fucker, guess who's still alive?
Yeah. So
Well, that's crazy. But you said she had a like severed trachea, so I guess that all healed up okay.
Yeah, she went into surgery and they were able to repair it. So, but she had to go around to the jury and like show them up close her scar.
That's a lot.
It was wild what they made her do as like a 10, 11-year-old
right
at this trial, but she did it because
she was ready. She was
right.
like, "You killed my friend, tried to kill me, but now we're gonna kill you."
Yeah. So she was so confident, and she helped to get him sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Yeehaw, Texas.
Yes. Love it. So Tommy Lynn Sells was given the name Coast to Coast Killer.
There it is.
By the media.
Hey.
I know you said it, and I was like, oh, yes.
That came off my brain.
You should work for the media.
I'm trying.
While he claimed to have killed as many as 70, investigators have 22 that they're pretty certain about.
That's still a crazy amount.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk through the 22.
Okay.
I know it's rough, but I feel like they deserve it. And
yep.
So we're going to hear about them. There's a lot, so I don't want to seem insensitive or like I'm rushing through them, but just trying to get through them. And these are the ones that he was known to have been in the area, was able to give important details about the murders, and like was able to identify the victims. So there's some others that they're like kind of sure, maybe pretty sure, but they couldn't conclusively say that they were sure that he did it. But these ones, the Texas Rangers are like positive.
Okay. Yeah, let's give them their time.
Yes. So, and also keep in mind though that he's not charged with most of these. So these are just, they think that he did it, but no charges were filed against him for a lot of these.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to do it in a timeline order so we can kind of keep track. So I think we talked about him being 14 and that being 1978, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So July 5th, 1979, in Port Gibson, Mississippi, 39-year-old John Cade was killed with a .32 caliber pistol during a home invasion. So he's 15 at this point?
Yeah, murdering full-grown men.
Yeah. And this isn't the first murder that he claims.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that first murder. A little bit. And then next one is in April 27th of 1982 in St. Louis, Missouri. 35-year-old Joanne Tate was sexually assaulted and murdered. Her 7-year-old daughter witnessed the crime and actually helped to identify and testify against a person that she believed to have done it.
Oh, no.
But years later, after watching an episode of Crime Watch Daily where she saw Tommy Sells, she saw her mother's real killer and came forward.
Wow. I mean, thank goodness she did, because there was a man sitting in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Right, but she kind of helped put him there to begin with.
She did.
But Rodney Lincoln, who had been convicted of the crime, was finally set free in 2018.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah, and I want you to remember that, because that's not the only time that this happens.
What?
Yeah.
Did you see? Did they even look alike?
I didn't see a picture of Rodney Lincoln.
Okay.
But
had to have been, right?
I'm hoping that this wasn't some like tragic case. But again, she was 7 years old at the time, so yeah. And then next one that they could link to him happened July 31st of 1983 in St. Louis, Missouri. 33-year-old Colleen Gill and her 4-year-old daughter, Tiffany Gill, were discovered in their house. Both had been beaten to death with a blunt object.
That is awful.
Yeah.
And that was just a cold case until now. Okay.
July 26th, 1985, in Springfield, Missouri, 28-year-old Ina Court and her 4-year-old son, Rory, were beaten to death with a baseball bat after Sells had invited them over after a carnival.
He's way too comfortable beating children to death.
Yeah. No, he's a monster. He said it in an interview that he didn't mind killing children because it was just saving them from the fate that he suffered as a child. So
I'm sure psychologists have a field day with him.
yeah. So, and also not the last time something will be connected with a carnival. So I think at some point he worked
as a carny.
as a carny. Yeah. Let's continue on. May 1st, 1987, Lockport, New York. 27-year-old Suzanne Courts disappeared after leaving a nightclub alone. Her body was not discovered until 1995, and she was so badly decomposed, the cause of death was impossible to determine.
Where was she?
She was in, they found her body like near Niagara Falls.
And nobody discovered it for...
No.
What, months, years?
Years. It took 8 years for them to find her body.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But this one they really wanted to charge him with, but he was already sentenced to death at that point.
Did he say how he killed her?
I don't think that I saw that, but it was I think he said he either like bludgeoned her or strangled her. Yeah. So he had like a few ways that he liked killing.
The bludgeoning seems to be a fan favorite right now.
Yeah. So same year, October 15th, 1987, in Lovelock, Nevada, 21-year-old Stephanie Kelly Stroh was last seen at the Four-Way Cafe and Truck Stop in Wells, Nevada. Sells claims that he picked her up as a hitchhiker, promising her a ride to Reno. The two did drugs together, then he strangled her, covered her body in concrete, and dumped her in a hot springs. But her body was never found.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But there was enough evidence that they were like pretty sure he was telling the truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this one, these are all terrible.
Yeah.
But this one, I feel like I really have to give a trigger warning before hearing this one. So if you want to skip maybe a minute, this one is really, really tough.
Can I also skip a minute?
No, sorry. Okay. So November 17th, 1987, in Ena, Illinois, the Darden family, 29-year-old Keith Darden, was shot and killed outside of his house. He was shot, I think, 3 times in the head. Inside, 3-year-old Peter and 30-year-old Elaine were bludgeoned to death. Elaine was 7 months pregnant at the time, and the trauma of the attack caused her to go into labor. She had the baby, who was also bludgeoned to death. So they believe that the baby was born alive, and he murdered it.
Did he say anything about this crime in particular?
They tried to bring it up with him in an interview, and he said, "Watch it. You've gone too far." So he wouldn't talk about it.
So this was too much for him.
Yeah.
Everything else up until now. But forcing a woman into labor and then bludgeoning a premature baby to death, too far. So don't bring it up.
He doesn't like to talk about like the blood and gore of what he's done, but he proudly claims the things that he's done. But this one in particular, like he says he's killed children and it happens and he doesn't feel bad for it. But this one, I think, really is a sensitive subject for him.
I mean, as it should be, that's gotta be the worst thing he's done.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah, that's because it wasn't instantaneous, right? Like, if you go into labor, I've had, 2 kids, you've had a child.
Yeah.
It's hours of labor. And I guess in a traumatic situation, it could be a little bit sooner, but he had
to wait around.
So much time. Right.
Yeah. So, we're moving on to the next year. December 18th, 1988, in Tucson, Arizona. 51-year-old Kent Allen Lawton was stabbed to death and buried in a shallow grave near a homeless camp where his body was discovered 2 days later.
I have questions about the methodology about how he's getting rid of his victims is so crazy and different.
The wild thing is he has no methodology.
Right. Like some he just leaves, some he buries, some he puts concrete on and drops them into a hot spring. Like there's no rhyme or reason to anything that's happening.
There's no rhyme or reason. Like he doesn't even kill the same way in any of them. So there was no way he was going to get caught for these without him just like coming forward and telling, right? Because it's wild. But for Kent, He claimed that he killed him because he owed him drug money.
Sure, buddy.
Right. December 9th, 1991. This is in Marina, Florida. 25-year-old Teresa Hall and her daughter, 5-year-old Tiffany Hall, were both beaten to death with the wooden leg of a table from their own home. And this murder was originally attributed to another serial killer until Sells confessed to the crime, which is kind of wild.
That's wild. Well, how many serial killers are out there?
It's
just
Florida.
On any given day.
Right.
Lock your windows.
Yes. All right. Let's take a breather right now. And remember, all of this has happened before Fabienne's encounter with him in 1992.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So I can't believe she's alive.
I can't believe she's alive. He didn't leave survivors.
No. It's just weird, the quilt thing, and I'm guessing she played dead convincingly enough so that he would leave.
Yeah.
But
not even
crazy.
played. I think she's
like
just
unconscious.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Lots have happened, and this is not even to that time yet. And he claims more in this time period, including his self-proclaimed first murder when he was just 15 years old. And that was the murder of an older gentleman. He said that he caught in the act of giving fellatio to a young boy, and it triggered something in him, and he just had to kill him. And I think he said that he killed the man and the boy.
I feel like that's probably true.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a jump-off point.
A starting point for all this.
Of like, you have to have your first kill. There has to be some emotion tied to it.
Yeah. And
that
he
makes sense.
Also said that killing gave him the same feeling as getting high. So once he started, he didn't want to stop.
Oh, so he's addicted then.
And he's an addict. So
right.
Yeah. So there's obviously going to be a break in the murders during the time that he was arrested for what he did to Fabienne. But again, he was released in 1997 and he wasted no time starting up again. I have another one that's a little bit tough. Because
Margaret.
I know it's all awful. But this is going to end up again with someone in jail that didn't deserve to be there.
Oh, no.
So October 13th, 1997. So he's just gotten out of prison.
Yeah, well, he's got to get that hit, right?
Yeah.
He got out. He's been detoxing. Time to go.
Yeah. So in Lawrenceville, Illinois, 10-year-old Joel Kirkpatrick was stabbed to death in his bedroom while he was sleeping. His mother, Julie Ray Harper, ran to her son's bedroom, encountered the intruder wearing a ski mask, and fought him off before fleeing. Julie was later found guilty of his murder.
The mom was found guilty?
Can you imagine?
She fought off. Why did they? What police department is this?
They didn't believe her.
What do you mean?
They said that his blood was all over her.
Yeah?
The murder weapon was a knife from her own kitchen.
Right.
And they said, what kind of stranger comes into a home to murder a 10-year-old, just him, without even bringing a murder weapon? That was their big gotcha. Yeah.
Did they let her out of jail when this came out?
Yeah, so I have an interesting...
It makes me so angry.
I have an interesting story about it, but I think I'll talk about it a little bit at the end.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it ties into something. But after being in jail, an appeal judge actually threw out her case due to some kind of technicality or something.
Or lack of any actual real evidence.
Well, the crazy thing is the prosecution decided to go after her again.
So, okay, this guy was running for re-election. He was like, I can't have any misses on my books, so we're going to take down this grieving mother.
Wild.
Although, to be fair, like, if my son was murdered in front of me and they were like, well, we're just going to blame you, I'd probably just shut down and be like, well, what do I have to live for anyway?
It's tragic.
Like, just throw me away. Who cares?
I mean, she claimed her innocence the whole time. She said, I loved my son. I would never do anything to him. And they also tried to use her divorce. Her messy divorce as like a reason that she might have done this, but she claimed her innocence the whole time. And the next time that they went after her, she was able to present the confession of Sells that he made after he had been picked up.
Great.
In 1999.
Like, hey, did the prosecutors have this confession?
I don't know if they did or if they even cared. Because,
Right.
you know what? No, I watched it. They did know about it. They thought it was a false confession. They thought he's just confessing to all these murders. He didn't really do this. There's no way he could have been there.
But he knew the details of the murder.
They thought she's just trying to get out of it.
Okay.
But luckily, the jury
Oh, thank God.
saw it and found her not guilty. So she was released from prison. But he's not done. Just 2 days after Joel, in October 15th, 1997, in Springfield, Missouri, 13-year-old Stephanie Mahaney was found in a farm pond. And according to Sells, he had kidnapped her from her bed, drove her to a field, injected her with cocaine, and then raped her and strangled her to death.
Feels like he's getting bored with the regular ways of killing people. When I guess if you kill 50 people, you're like, well, gotta try something new.
It's wild.
Well, because it's like addiction, right? Like you gotta keep one-upping it.
Right, up
You gotta
the
keep
ante.
doing up. That's
Yeah.
crazy. She's 13.
13.
And this was just land? It wasn't her property, like her family's property?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah. And something that Fabienne says is she kind of feels guilty after her ordeal with him because she felt like, and maybe he said it too, I can't remember, but that it felt like he started going for younger people because he had accidentally left her alive.
Right. And making sure they were dead.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of young people after her.
Well, to be fair, Fabienne's case should have been an attempted murder case.
It should have been.
And he should have been in prison way longer than he was.
Way longer. Yeah, agreed. Okay, now we're still in 1997, December 14th, back in Las Vegas, Nevada. 19-year-old Yvette Sophia Mueller was last seen in an RV park in Las Vegas. Sells claimed to have raped and killed her, chopping up her body with an axe, and then he buried her next to Snake River. Her body was never discovered due to a landslide that had happened in the area, so they were just never able to find
They
where
couldn't get to it.
Right, where he said it was. So, because they spent...
Which happens.
Yeah. And the Texas Rangers, they spent months with him, allowing him to take them places, to describe...
To try and find people.
As many as they could.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an awful road trip.
Yeah.
I love a road trip, but not that one.
Road trip from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're April 15th, 1998, San Antonio, Texas. Thomas Brose, 40, was a carnival worker who was shot to death in his motorhome.
Oh.
Yeah. But again, there's the carnival.
The carnival connection.
Yeah. Okay, April 4th, 1999, Gibson, Tennessee. 31-year-old Deborah Harris and her 8-year-old daughter, Ambria, were both killed after Sells broke into their house at night and raped Harris in her bed. She was stabbed repeatedly with her own kitchen knife, which was left in her chest. And then her daughter was stabbed 3 times after she witnessed Sells murder her mother.
That makes me nervous to have a butcher block in my kitchen.
But these are things that you should not be scared to have.
Right. It was just a complete stranger breaks into your house.
That's the other crazy thing is he is a murderer who comes into your house and just finds something, a knife, a wooden leg from your table.
Right.
Anything he can really, and murders you with it.
That's crazy.
It's wild. Okay. April 18th, so same month, 1999. He kind of goes on a spree here in San Antonio, Texas.
It's is he not on a spree already?
For 3 decades, pretty much.
Yeah.
But 9-year-old Mary B. Perez was kidnapped from a market festival, driven to a stockyard, raped and strangled to death with her T-shirt. Her body was found in a creek 10 days later. Sells was actually convicted of this murder in 2003, and he was sentenced to life for it.
Great.
But,
justice.
Yeah, but this, again, it was after the death sentence, so... Right. But this family at least got justice. This was the only other family that got any justice here.
That's tragic. What did they have on him for her murder?
I guess they had enough evidence. I mean, he took them to where he left the body. He gave them enough evidence. To me, it feels like he gave enough evidence for a lot of these.
Right. But maybe it's just too costly to keep trying him.
I think that, and I think this one, since she was so young, like, I don't know, maybe it just, like, hit home for them, and they were like, we really need to try this one.
Or, like, maybe the family really pushed for it.
Yeah. Something happened here, and they convicted him, though, of that one. Okay. But we're still in 1999, and he's still going. So this is May 23rd, 1999, in Lexington, Kentucky. Haley McCone, 13, was kidnapped from a swing by Sells, dragged into a wooden area, and raped. She was then, again, like Mary, strangled to death with her T-shirt, and then he covered her with debris.
She's just on a playground, being a kid, and he steals her.
Yep.
That's awful.
Her body was found 10 days later, and actually Sells was arrested in the area around the time, but for an unrelated charge.
Jeez.
Which is kind of crazy, but also like a way that they were able to place him.
You were definitely there.
In Kentucky. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. July 5th, 1999, Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Bobby Lynn Wolford, 14, was picked up from a Love's convenience store by Sells, who drove her to a secluded area, sexually assaulted her, struck her repeatedly with a hatchet, and then finally shot her in the head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he dumped her body off the side of the road and kept 2 earrings of hers, which is the first time I've heard him keeping a trophy. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to December 31st, 1999 in Del Rio, Texas, where Katie Harris, 13, was sexually assaulted. She was stabbed 16 times and then had her throat slashed by Sells, which I feel like I didn't mention before, and it all happened so fast, but he stabbed her 16 times.
That's so much overkill and like rage for no reason. This stranger.
Yeah. Well, like maybe
little
even
girl.
A little girl that he knew from the church he went to.
Right.
Wild. Yeah. So on January 3rd, 2014, a Del Rio judge set Sells' execution date for April 3rd, 2014. Sells' death sentence was carried out in the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville.
We love to see it.
Yay.
Rest in distress.
I know, it's terrible. But when he was asked if he would like to make a final statement, Sells replied, no.
We probably didn't even, comprehend this is it, right? Like,
he didn't care.
Give closure to people, right? He didn't care.
As a lethal dose of, what is the thing that they give them?
I think it's potassium chloride.
Pentobarbital?
Oh, well, it's a 3-drug cocktail.
Okay, pentobarbital. Is that how you say that?
There's a sedative, a paralytic, and then the killing agent.
Yeah. You know what? I don't have to go through the whole thing. He died.
He's dead.
Yep. Took 13 minutes, and he was pronounced dead. Krystal Surles and members of both the Harris and Perez families were in attendance at the execution.
That's good.
Yes.
No, good for them. But side note, do you think you would be able to watch an execution?
I think so.
Yeah. It's like somebody killed me and you were like...
I think I could have watched him get executed.
Right.
Like, for what he has done. I don't know. Maybe that makes me strange.
No, I think it's fine. Plus, it's not gory. She's just laying on a gurney and goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, like, I don't think I don't know. Maybe I would have been, like, cool with hangings. Like, go to the public hanging.
Right, you're the group of 10,000 circling around.
I fear I might have.
That's the human condition.
Yeah.
We just want to see it. Well, because it's like...
It's interesting.
That could be us.
Right.
Is really what it is.
That's why I studied psychology, is because I'm just so interested in what can make somebody like that.
Right.
It fascinates me. And that's why we're here, right? That's why we're all here.
Yep.
But I did want to say that Fabienne Witherspoon was featured on an episode of I Survived a Serial Killer.
Ooh.
Yes. And she had an interview with 2020 in 2021. Krystal Surles appeared in a 48-hour episode called Krystal's Courage. And Tommy Sells has appeared in an episode of Investigation Discovery's Most Evil, and also had a mini documentary by ABC News called Tommy Lynn Sells, The Mind of a Psychopath. He was ready and available for interviews.
Yeah, he was ready. Do you know if they salvaged his brain and donated it to science?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
I feel like if it was a possibility, they probably would have done it, because what a treasure trove that probably was.
Oh, yeah. It had to be crazy up in
Yeah.
there. I really want to shout out a good book here, too, by Diane Fanning. And I told you I was going to come back to this. She wrote a book called Through the Window. And that actually helped her with Julie Ray Harper getting out of jail. So she actually made the connection. So she had heard about Julie claiming her innocence and about the whole story of the intruder and what happened. And then she was researching Tommy, and she was like, that's his MO. That fits.
Right.
This like stranger coming in.
Let me go look what happened.
Dug deeper, and then they were able to make that connection. So she actually was a big help in getting her released from jail. So shout out to Diane.
That's amazing. Thanks, Diane.
Yeah. And that is the story of Fabienne Witherspoon and Krystal Surles, our survivors for today.
That was an amazing story. It had a lot of twists and turns, but I appreciate that there's more than one survivor.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that
Woohoo.
a lot. Thank you. Now, the vibes might have been off in that story.
But the vibes are always right here with us.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to subscribe, like us on all of our socials, and download our episodes on Spotify.
Yeah. We'll see you later. Love ya.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube.
You can also find us on Instagram at The Vibes Were Off, TikTok at The Vibes Were Off Podcast, or good old-fashioned email at thevibeswereoff@gmail.com.